So one of the sessions at Amitabha Buddhist Center in Singapore, the topic of lying came up. And so I was talking about it. And then two different people raised their hands with a very similar question, okay? And the question started out with a statement of, I have to do little white lies. And then the question, that's okay, isn't it? Well, can you imagine what I said? First of all, I said, I'm not the Pope. I'm not going to give you absolution from doing things. You are a free agent. You have to discern yourself, what you think. But, when you tell a little white lie, are you saying what is true? No. Then does that qualify as a lie? But I have to say it. Why do you have to say it? You don't have any other choice about what to say? No, I don't have any choice, because if I tell the truth, people are not going to like me. Okay, give me, I understand your pain. I didn't say that. I said, well, give me an example. Well, okay, two very interesting examples. One was, my boss is having a holiday party for everybody at the office, and I don't want to go. But if I don't go, and people are going to talk about me in the office, and why didn't I go, and my boss won't be happy, and so I have to have an excuse that I have to go somewhere else or do something else important, so that everybody will be okay with me not going there. I see. So everybody at the party, the thing on the top of their mind is going to be your not being there. That's what they're going to notice most and remember most about the party. But you don't understand. I have to come up with an excuse. It's just a little white lie. Well, after a few minutes of this kind of back and forth, I finally said, enough. I said, you know what my feeling is about it. You have to make your own decision. And of course, accept the consequences of that. But then I also, sometime in that talk, talked about trust and forming trust in relationships, and how important trust was to have good relationships, and how important telling the truth was to having good relationships. Yeah. We came up with a couple of other examples of this on the trip. One man came to see us, and he confessed to us that, he had gone out with the boy. He's married. He'd gone out with the boys one night. They got drunk. They went down to the prostitutes. He slept with a prostitute. He came home. He didn't tell his wife. He feels very guilty. He wants to tell his wife, but she's going to go through the ceiling. I wanted to say, right, dear Abbey. You remember Dear Abbey? Dear Anne? Dear Anila? Yeah. But I think there's a new one. Somebody else does these kind of things. So, trust is so important. And so this thing, like with the guy who slept with the prostitute, when he's married, he regrets it, he'll never do it again. And he wants to tell her, but he doesn't want to really deal with the outcome. And it won't be pretty. She'll be very upset. So the thing is to not do those things to start with, okay? You know, you can talk to Bill Clinton about this too. He would have had a whole better presidency if he wasn't fiddling around in the Oval Office. God, you know, thank goodness Putin didn't walk in at that time. But, you know, to really watch our behavior to start with, and if something is against our own ethical code, don't do it, you know, if you anticipate having to lie about it, because eventually the truth comes out, and then it gets really complicated because you said one lie, and of course they're just little white lies, you know, just Clinton was just telling a little white lie. Yeah, little. You know, it's just the whole country got upset about it. But it was just this big, you know. It was, I didn't sleep with that woman. No, I didn't have sex with that woman. 7 words. See, it was a little white lie. Huh? But, you know, that just has some repercussions, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's one thing. Don't do the things that you're going to have to lie about, because also, you know, you tell one lie to this person, one lie to the next one lie to the third one, and then when they all come to talk to you about it, you can't remember who you lied, which lie you told to who, and then you know you want to keep lying, but you can't keep lying, and then you have to tell the truth, and then it's really double trouble. And I know for me, yeah, the thing is not what the person did to start with, it was the lie, you know, because if somebody wants to have good relationship, we have to be able to tell the truth. And especially in a Dharma context, you know, if you don't tell the truth, then how can the teacher and the Sangha help you? So that's, you know, one of the reasons in our bi-monthly posada, why we say in the confession prayer, I will not conceal it. Yeah. And concealment brings sorrow. Revealing it brings peace, yeah? And concealing it brings sorrow. It brings sorrow because we know inside that we concealed it. Nobody else knows, but we know. And we don't feel good about it because we know that part of the responsibilities of being a Sangha member is to tell the truth. And especially, now you might say, well, I'm not lying. I didn't lie about that. I just didn't mention it. But part of the obligations, you know, responsibilities of being a Sangha member is to not conceal the transgressions. Okay, so we know it inside. Even if you're not a Sangha member, okay, eventually people find out when we've told little white lies, you know. That's code for big lies. But even if they are smaller lies, still it harms the relationship, because after that, whatever you say, people are going to go, are they telling the truth or not? Yeah. So it isn't just that one lie, it's that what comes afterwards in the minds of the people that you lied to, even if it was a little white lie, of, you know, well, are they telling the truth now in what they tell me? And so then what happens is, people don't trust what you're saying. And they might question you more. They might doubt what you're saying. Yeah. And they're not going to be as open or as helpful to you because they don't trust. Yeah. So it's why, one of the results of lying that we can see very clearly, and why it's so important to be truthful, even if sometimes it's quite embarrassing. Yeah, because I think we've all done things that we would prefer other people don't know about. Yeah, or if they know about it, they just have a 3-word description called "I made a mistake." Yeah, but I think part of our Dharma practice is learning to accept ourselves. And a second part is learning that what other people think of us, is not necessarily what we are. The important thing is how we evaluate our own actions and how we feel about our own actions. Yeah. So in that regard, being able to be truthful clears the deck in our own mind. We know that we're being truthful. Other people aren't going to question us. It may be embarrassing. We may feel ashamed or regretful or guilty or whatever, but that's an opportunity to look at our guilt and our shame and realize that those are not virtuous mental factors, and to oppose them, to actively oppose them and free our mind from that. And instead, when we don't have guilt and shame, when we can cultivate real self-acceptance, then, okay, I did this, it's there on the table, I'm transparent, I'm clearing it up, and I'm going forward in my life. Yeah. And so then when we can be honest like that, then our whole mind is more peaceful. Yeah. And within the Sangha, people will actually have more respect when we can come clean with things that, And as for, if other people, be they Sangha or other members, go, you're horrible, that is their problem. Yeah. And believe me, they have more to think about in their lives than you. They're not sitting there going every day, oh, so-and-so did this, and they covered it up. So-and-so did this, they covered it up. No, they're going, oh, I did this, and how am I going to cover it up? Really, believe me, people, look at your own mind. If somebody else has done something you disapprove of, do you go over and over that in your mind nonstop? No, we're all much too self-centered to do that. Yeah. Maybe this is a benefit of being self-centered. I don't know. Is there such a thing? I don't think so, because we should drop it regarding ourselves as well, not just regarding other people. But to learn to be okay with what other people think of us. And regarding that, I remember going when I was at Dorje Pomo Monastery, and I was getting a lot of criticism. This was after Venerable S.K. left, and I inherited the position of being director. And of course, people criticize. So Lama Zopa came and I went to see him, and I said, Rinpoche, all these people are criticizing me. for, I'm just trying to do what I think is best, and they're criticizing me. They aren't happy. And Rinpoche looked at me and he said, sentient beings criticize the Buddha too. Okay. If people are going to criticize the Buddha, of course they're going to, who has no fault, of course they're going to criticize me, who has faults. So just relax. The Buddha didn't get all upset when people criticized him. He didn't say, "You heretic, I'm the Buddha, shut up and listen to me." He just said, "Okay, that's your opinion. Congratulations." So, we should relax about all of that too. Yeah. Now, I know in the Bodhisattva precepts, one of the auxiliary precepts is if, people are unhappy with you or think you're lying or whatever, or, there's some bad feeling, that you have a responsibility to clear it up. Okay? The reason for this is because when we have taken the Bodhisattva precepts, what is most important to us in our lives is being able to benefit others. And if others have wrong information about our conduct, and as a result do not trust us and lose faith in us, then it inhibits our ability to benefit them. And so that's the reason why, to clear up these kinds of things about our reputation. It's not out of attachment to our reputation and wanting to have a good one. It's for the benefit of other beings, so that they will know that we are trustworthy in that regard. Okay? But the best thing is not to do the stuff to start with. And even if you didn't do anything wrong, the little white lies are, well, I'm busy that evening, instead of saying, I'm really exhausted, I want to stay home. What's wrong with saying, I'm really exhausted and I want to stay home? What's wrong with that? Yeah? Somebody invited you for something and you're exhausted and you want to stay. I think people understand that. It's kind of insulting to think that they wouldn't understand that and that they would come back and say, well, that's too bad if you're exhausted. I want you to come, so, get ready. I don't think people would say that. Yeah. So why don't we just tell the truth? Or in the context of this lady who didn't want to go to the office party, to say, I really like everybody at the office. I appreciate your inviting me, but I don't like going to parties very much. I think people would understand. Okay.